I just recorded a Bible study about Acts 18, and I question whether Apollos in Acts 18 is tied to Acts 19 or not. But it got me thinking. People like to cite the words of John the Baptist in Matthew 3, like, I baptize you with water, but one who comes after me, whose sandal strap I'm not worthy to loose, he'll baptize you with the Holy Spirit and with fire. Now, people don't like when we argue, well, the baptism with the Holy Spirit's only promised to the apostles, and we don't know who John the Baptist was speaking to. Maybe he was only saying this when the apostles of Jesus were present. But we might have some more substance to this view if we look at Acts 19, because these people had received John's baptism. Now, whether they received it from John the Baptist himself or Apollos or one of John's disciples is beside the point. They hadn't even heard about the Holy Spirit. So that seems to indicate that John's preaching about the coming of the Holy Spirit was not necessarily a public teaching. That was something that he stated, and like the gospel accounts have to include, because that wasn't something that a lot of people knew about. Some of John's disciples didn't know about it. I know it's one thing to talk about the complexities of Acts 19 and read your theology into it, but this idea that John was promising and emphasizing a Holy Spirit baptism, like to all the world and all of Judea, that wasn't a big part of his ministry. That was something that the Gospels record that he said. But John promising baptism with the Holy Spirit doesn't tell us who would receive Holy Spirit baptism or what the purpose of Holy Spirit baptism is. Personally, I think when Jesus tells his disciples, his apostles, like, you will receive it, and we have 11 men of Galilee, that are promised that in Luke 24 and Acts chapter 1, and Matthias added to their number, we have him telling them that the promise of my Father, the baptism of the Holy Spirit, will endue them with power directly from heaven. That's Luke 24:49. But at the very least, we know there were others who received John's baptism but never heard a word about the Holy Spirit.